Morning. Day off today. Oh yeah, I'm retired. Every day's a day off. I've come to Killerton. We've got a National Trust card, so normally me and Kirsten come together, but I just thought I'd have an hour or two just walking around, making the most of it. Absolutely beautiful place. I'll take a little bit of video as I'm going along. It started raining. I've only been here 5 minutes. Anyway, it's very refreshing, and after the heat over the last few days, it's quite nice actually. So, yeah, we came here a couple of months ago when we first got the card, but we haven't really used the card since. So far it's, what was it, 128 quid, and we've had, well, this is the second time we've used it. So hopefully, got to start making the most of it a bit more. But I would say that already discovering Killerton, which is basically on our doorstep, it's been worth it in that way, because it's forced us to come somewhere which we both love. So I'm sure whilst we're still down in Devon, we'll use this, well, come here, time and time again. Having 5 minutes. It's a bit of a climb, the first bit here. So what day is it? Wednesday. I went to the allotment this morning. Not a lot to do. Just a bit of watering, a bit of harvesting, some raspberries and some rhubarb and some spinach, and then drove straight here. So I've been here about 3/4 of an hour. Had a good walk around already. I'm going to climb a bit higher, and there's some sort of parkland which we didn't see last time, so I'm going to go and see what that's all about. I'm in no rush. I can stay here all day if I want, really. Not got much else to do today. It's a lot easier weather-wise today. It's a lot more air, and it's got a nice sort of chill to the air as well, which is good, and a bit of drizzle. So yeah, was going to go fishing on Friday with a mate, but he now can't come till next Wednesday, so the rest of my week is pretty empty. I'm going to go to the allotment tomorrow and do 2 or 3 more hours there, do a bit all the sort of like weekly jobs, the edging and the weeding and that sort of stuff. And then Friday clear now, and the weekend clear. So yeah, that's my plan for this week. Not a lot happening, but very pleasant. I've been walking for miles now. Just goes on and on and on, beautiful. And hardly seen anybody since I've left the main sort of garden. It's just been on my own. It's fantastic, really lovely place. Would definitely recommend coming to Killerton in Devon. We are right up in the treetops now. Long way down, back to the sort of tended gardens. So, a nice little bench down there, which I'm going to go and have a sit down on, and then back to the gardens after a 10-minute sit down. Just been sat here for about 15 minutes just looking at my phone to see if Forrest had been signing, and just looked up and it's going to absolutely piss it down. So I better head back towards the car, back to the grounds. I'm probably a good 20-minute walk away, so but I'll turn it round. It's just starting now. That looks pretty dark, so I shall head back for the car. So the rain held off, wasn't too bad, just sort of like slightly heavier drizzle. So I've stopped about 2/3 of the way back to the car near the chapel, and then I shall get off, and that's it for today on the vlog. Allotment tomorrow, I think, so I'll pick up from there. Morning. So just got here Thursday morning. It's the first time I've got to the allotment and thought, things have sort of like just gone over a bit, just turned a bit. So far it's all been positive, hasn't it? It's been getting better every time I've come here, every week. But today I've just seen a few things going over. All the potatoes are all flopping, which is good. It means that they're ready, but they don't look as good. Some of the onions are going over, again, the same sort of thing. A lot of the flowers are looking slightly past the best now. And the raspberries, the leaves have got a little bit of disease and just naturally you know, past their best. So yeah, I think I've got to start sort of like, you know, thinking about the next stage. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you what I mean. So those Livingston daisies are well past the best now. Didn't last too long, to be honest. So I don't know whether I'll have those in again. Just the sunflowers are just going over, and the raspberries, which have looked really healthy, just yellowing up a bit. Yeah, still looks good, but the perfectionist I am. Obviously there's been some gaps and the seed hasn't, well, yeah, some of that is actually coming through, but yeah, there's gaps. The broad beans look a bit messy because they've had black fly on, which you can't do anything about, but there's a few, like that one's broken. And where it was all just absolutely perfect a week ago, it's just starting to be over. Those potatoes are just starting to flop, and I can tell I just need to get these up now, harvest them. And the onions are just starting to go over, which I say is a good sign. But yeah, I need to work on it now to keep it looking as good as it has been. But that spinach has bolted. So overall still looks fantastic, but yeah, there's work to do now. Like the last 6 weeks has just all been about watering and harvesting. I've got to now think about the next stage. So I've done a couple of hours, massive harvest of potatoes. It's probably 3 weeks worth there. Some rhubarb chard, gooseberries, decent sized bag of raspberries, and a massive bag of mixed beans, broad beans, runner beans, French beans. I've got rid of about half of that set of potatoes, these Charlottes. So that's all ground, ready to be sown again and to be used for something else now. I will dig up the others. I might even come back tomorrow, not sure yet. So I'm going to give it a water, give everywhere else a water, and then that's it for today. As I say, I realised how much there was to do when I got here, so I think I shall be back tomorrow. First of the blueberries. Very, very nice. There's not going to be loads, but you'll have to get a few off them this year. Not so many off those too. So I shall definitely be buying more of this particular variety. Brigitte Blue. So it's only 10 o'clock on Friday morning, but it's really hot again. It doesn't look quite as beautiful, but it's really, really hot. So I've really started clearing out. I cleared out all those potatoes yesterday. Sorted out the ground, tidied up everything else that's in there, like the tomatoes, put some lettuce in. It's going to be a lot less sort of regimented in rows now, as it's the sort of second and third sowings. It's going to be just if I get a gap, fill it and see what I can get going over the next couple of months. Onions, I'm going to pull most of those next week and lay them out in the sun. I'll start using those cabbage up. That's the Savoy cabbage there. It's little standard sort of, I think it's called winter cabbage there, which have been affected by the caterpillars. But I've got little pockets of things like spring onions coming up again, which would be handy. This sweet corn, we've tidied up and I've staked the ones that are struggling. So just gradually done a lot of weeding, getting stones out and things. It's all starting to, well, I'm starting to get back on top of things. I said at the start of the week, just one or two things were going over and looking untidy. So I've just got rid of, there was a load of rocket that had bolted there. That's all gone. That should help these beans, getting loads of beans off these now. The broad beans, I've got another big bag of broad beans today, but there's not an awful lot left on there. Maybe another week, 2 weeks, and I'll start taking those up and then that will let more sun into the other section over there. Runner beans, there's loads on there. I've got to harvest a few more of those now. See if we can see any. Yeah, let's see if we look. You can see there's loads. I've already got 2 or 3 bags of those in the freezer, which I've blanched for the winter. I'll take another big bag today and do similar. Take those, the rest of those potatoes out of the ground next week, although we don't need any, we've got enough for months and months. And then next week I'm going to tidy up this section. I'm going to try and get in on the ground and weed it all and cut away any dead. There are some tomatoes in there somewhere. Loads more beans. Some tomatoes there, but I've got to start staking those a bit and tidying them up. With having so little space, I have to really maximise every single inch. So I plant closer together than maybe you'd be recommended, but it works for me as long as you keep on top of everything. So already got a big bag of French beans, small bag of raspberries, although I got quite a lot yesterday. Some more broad beans in there as well. I'll get some the chard picked today before I go, and as I say, more runner beans as well. And then that'll be it for this week. It's been spent quite a bit of time here this week. It's been good, and happy with it again. Although I've still got quite a lot of work to do next week as well. So anyway, have a good weekend, and hope to see you next week.